Here is your revised script, optimized for a smooth, meaningful delivery through text-to-speech software. The language has been fine-tuned for clarity, rhythm, and emotional engagement while staying true to the original message. Do you remember when summers felt endless? When your birthday took forever to arrive? Back then, time moved like molasses. But now, you blink, and it's December again. Why does time seem to race as we get older? The clock still ticks the same, yet our minds scream, "Where did the year go?" Here's the twist. Time isn't speeding up. You're just experiencing it differently. French philosopher Henri Bergson cracked this mystery more than a century ago. He believed we've been brainwashed by clocks, calendars, and deadlines into seeing time as a rigid, cold line. But Bergson offered something radical. He called it la durée, duration. Real time, he said, doesn't live in seconds. It lives in your memories, your emotions, and how deeply you experience each moment. Think about it. Routine turns entire months into a blur. But a spontaneous road trip? That feels long, vivid, because your brain actually lives it. So maybe time isn't shrinking. Maybe we're just letting it slip through our fingers. Today we dive into Bergson's mind-bending theory, and more importantly, how you can reclaim your time before it disappears. You're not imagining it. Birthdays, holidays, even Mondays, they all arrive faster now. One moment you're setting New Year's resolutions. The next, you're scrambling for Halloween costumes. Wasn't it June yesterday? Science backs this up. Studies show most adults over 30 feel time accelerating every year. But why? Psychologists have long pointed to something called the proportional theory. When you're 10, a year is 10% of your life. At 50, it's just 2%. Each year feels smaller by comparison, but that's just the beginning. Neuroscience tells us that routine is the real thief of time. When life gets repetitive, same commute, same meetings, same shows, your brain stops forming vivid memories. No new experiences, no new timestamps. Days collapse into a gray blur. Einstein and Bergson actually clashed over this. Einstein saw time as fixed, measurable, a fourth dimension ticking identically across the universe. Bergson called that a crime against human experience. To him, Einstein's clock time was an illusion. Real time is personal, elastic, and shaped by consciousness itself. Einstein's time is what your phone counts. Bergson's time is what you feel when you're laughing with friends, grieving a loss, or stuck in traffic. Science measures intervals. Philosophy asks, why does a minute of boredom feel endless, while a year of joy vanishes in a blink? Bergson saw this as the tragedy of modern life. We've traded depth for efficiency, rich moments for productivity. We've let clocks dictate our worth, turning life into spreadsheet cells. So, is time really flying, or are we just becoming numb to it? Picture two kinds of time. First, there's clock time. Cold, uniform, relentless. The kind you see on your phone split into seconds, minutes, hours. Then there's lived time. Warm, elastic, unpredictable. The kind you feel when you're deep in conversation, lost in creativity, or overwhelmed in a crisis. Bergson's la durée, duration, is that second kind. It's not a line, it's a river. It bends and swirls and changes speed depending on how fully you're immersed in life. When you're waiting at the DMV, every second drags. When you're at a concert, hours vanish. The clock says both lasted the same, but one was lived far more deeply. That's Bergson's truth. Your brain doesn't count seconds, it tells stories. And when life becomes too familiar, the stories stop. Days blend together, weeks vanish. But it doesn't have to be that way. Here's how to reclaim your time, and make life feel richer, longer, more alive. First, embrace novelty. Your brain is a novelty junkie. It craves newness, a first kiss, a new city, even a strange TikTok trend. These moments trigger the hippocampus, your brain's memory center, forcing it to log vivid, lasting impressions. In one study, people who listen to unfamiliar music perceive time as 20% longer than those who listen to something repetitive. Why? Novelty stretches time. As children, everything was new. Riding a bike, tasting ice cream, even losing a tooth. That's why childhood summers felt eternal. But adulthood, it's a cycle of repeated tasks. Your hippocampus naps, and time slips by unnoticed. Second, break the routine. Repetition compresses time. Your brain switches to autopilot, outsourcing the day to your habit center. You save energy, but sacrifice memory. That's why your first day at a job feels endless, but your 100th flies by. When you stop noticing life, you stop living it. Third, memory compression. Here's the secret. You don't experience time as it happens. You reconstruct it later. And your brain doesn't replay every second. It just highlights the most vivid moments. A vacation in Tokyo. That memory is rich with temples, street food, and missed trains. A routine week at work, it collapses into a single meh. So how do you slow time down? Inject novelty. Break the routine. Let time breathe. Take a different route to work. Learn something awkward. A language, an instrument, a TikTok dance. Go to a place you've never been. Talk to someone unexpected. Then practice mindfulness. It's not just a wellness trend, it's a time-stretching superpower. When you're fully present, you anchor yourself in the moment. You resist your brain's urge to fast forward or rewind. Try the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. Name 5 things you see, 4 things you feel, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, 1 thing you taste. It's simple, but it brings you back to now. Let yourself be bored. Schedule blank space. Daydream. Look out the window. Ditch an app that wastes your time. Give your brain space to breathe. And finally, remember, time is not a number. It's a feeling. Clocks can count the hours, but only you can decide if life slips by or lingers. So ask yourself, not how many hours did I work today, but how many did I truly live? And if you're brave enough to rebel against the tyranny of the clock, to seek novelty, mindfulness, and meaning, you might just find the secret to stretching time itself.